going on, everybody? This is Sean of Raw Select Music, and today I want to talk about this record right here. This is Hooba Booba Babble Tape, released on Jazzy Sport Records and King Tone Records. This record I was really curious about. I'm a big fan of both of these Japanese hip-hop producers, Yotaro and Aru-2, still not entirely sure how to say his name. And last year I picked up Yotaro's Mezzanine album, which I thought was a solid beat tape. It didn't really have that many like wow moments on it, but it's hard to knock a project that has some really just solid hip-hop beats on it. I also picked up Aru-2 and Lee Asano and Ryuhei's Tupac EP 7-inch. This ended up being one of my favorite songs of 2018. So when I heard towards the end of the year that they were going to be putting out a collaborative project together, I got really excited. And when I saw that it got listed on the place where I always buy all my records, Shop Jet Set, I decided that I wanted to pick it up for myself. And now that I've listened to it, I want to share my thoughts and opinions of this record with you guys and let you know whether or not I think it's worth checking out. So with that little introduction out of the way, let's talk about this guy. So a little bit of background about these guys. I don't really know all that much other than Yotaro is from Nara, Japan, which is located between Kyoto and Osaka. From at least my limited experience of that area, Yotaro, at least from my limited experience of that area, Nara doesn't really seem to be a hotbed of hip-hop. Yet Yotaro makes some really nice, crispy, dusty, dirty instrumental hip-hop with tons of that sort of post-J Dilla swing, some hard-hitting snares, some nice kicks, lots of subby bass lines, and all of that is present on this record right here. So if any of that sounded interesting to you, you might want to grab this. And Aru-2 has actually been a producer that I've been following for the longest time. He was one of the first sort of SoundCloud Japanese beat makers that I had stumbled onto in the time that I've been doing the Raw Select Music blog on WordPress. So when I found out that they were doing a collaborative project together, I got really hyped. Specifically for Aru-2's contribution to this record, because he's known for doing some really weird, off-kilter sort of stuff in the way that he samples and the way that he does his drums and the way that he does his drops. So with that being said, I went into this record with fairly high expectations, hoping to get something at the very least pretty solid out of this record. And solid is exactly what I got. I have to say, this is an absolutely solid project. That's about it. Look, I really like this record. I do enjoy it. I think the beats on here are great. I think that these guys are two phenomenal producers. Everything on here is extremely well done. These guys are really skilled. And there's actually some really cool moments on here. The biggest highlight track on here for me, and was actually the track that completely sold me on this record, is the track Vapor. It's just slow ruggedness in its absolute sluggish pacing. Just absolutely does a great job of enhancing the heavy and hard hittingness of the beat that goes along with it. And it's unfortunate that this record really just doesn't have those kind of moments on here. I know it's gonna sound like I'm gonna be ragging a little bit on this record, but the number one knock that I have against this thing is that there aren't really that many wow moments on here. Everything on here is really well done. I really like the way the drums sound on here. It feels like everything is covered in 100 years worth of dust. There's so much crackle, there's so much density to the sound. Everything, the head nod factor on it is really good. The beats on here are really well done. But the one thing that this record really lacks is a wow factor. Generally when it comes to a lot of beat tapes or beat makers or instrumental hip-hop records, the main thing that I look for is something that really stands out. Whether it's in the way that you chop your drums or chop your samples or the way you employ melody into your song. These are sort of the elements that usually help elevate a instrumental beat tape above and beyond and really make it something truly special. And this record is by no means bad. It's really just missing that one little special element to make it a superior beat tape to all the other countless beat tapes that are out there. For me, the quality of of the sound on here does help push it a little bit above some of the stuff that you might come across on just flipping around on SoundCloud. But overall, I still think this record would have benefited quite a bit had there been a wider variety of sounds. In general, the majority of the tracks on here are really mellow, really have sort of a stoner, lazy Sunday afternoon vibe to them. It really sort of invokes the same sort of feel that you would get from listening to a 24-hour stream of chill hop beats to study to. It's slightly better than that, and I feel like the head nod factor is definitely what pushes it a little bit above that stuff, but it's not that dissimilar to that. And I don't know what else to say about it other than that. Slightly jazzy, slightly soulful. There's some nice Rhodes on here. There's some nice subby bass. There's some really nice hard-hitting kicks. There's some really snappy snares on here. There's some cool drum programming every now and then on here. And there's some little like sort of, oh, that's kind of cool moments on here. Overall, it really just feels like these guys could have gotten a little bit more reckless and a little bit more wild with it. And overall, they created a solid, if not extremely safe tape. At the end of the day though, I'd still recommend that you check it out if you're looking for something that's a little bit more on the mellow side and not so much on the neck breaking spectrum of instrumental hip hop. And I do find myself going back and listening to this. I feel just like I really wish that this record had more moments that really stood out to me. But I'm gonna give this record a recommendation. Definitely think that you should check it out. I'm definitely looking forward to hearing more material from Yotaro and Aru-2. Still not entirely sure how you say his name. So that's gonna be it for me today, guys. Thanks as always for watching. If you've listened to any of these artists' music, or if you've checked out this project, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, if you want to hear this record for yourself, please head over to my WordPress or Steemit blogs, because that's where I post music links so you can check out any of the records that I talk about on this channel. Also, as always, please head over to my Mixcloud, check out Raw Select Radio, because that is where you can hear the audio component of this YouTube channel / blog thing that I'm doing, and you can hear records like the ones that I've already talked about, as well as a whole slew of other music that I think is worth checking out. So that's gonna be it for me today, guys. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll check you guys in the next video. Till then, peace out!